if there's anything I want from you at this point, Theologica, and it isn't debate, I don't think that would be fruitful at this point, it would be for you to explain yourself on omniscience versus free will and how it's not a paradox. I mean, you stated in PM that it would be superfluous, even comical, to debate that topic. So we don't have to debate about it, but what you're talking about here kind of says that it should be very easy to refute this argument that I have. And remember, I go into a little bit deeper than just the basic foreknowledge equals no free will. You'd probably have to watch my if omniscience equals free will equals no free will video, and also the one on prophecy, both responses to wildcard. You're really going to understand what I'm trying to say with that. I'll be very interested. I'm actually really begging you to try to do that, because apparently it should be very easy. But even Wildcard, who, if he isn't the smartest person on YouTube that I know, he's at the very least the smartest theist that I know. He's really brilliant, not just in science, but in being able to articulate a point, make a lot of people understand what he's talking about very easily. And so far, he hasn't been able to really completely topple it yet, and he's still working on it, and he might still yet do it. If anyone can, it would be him. But considering if he hasn't been able to do it yet, I don't really think you're going to be able to. And that's not really saying much, because there's really no one else I have more respect for than Wildcard. But please, we don't have to have it a debate. You don't even have to make a video on it. Just tell me who knows this information, if you can do that simple task. Because otherwise, I really just think it was a cop-out. Now more onto what you claim. You basically consider atheists to be psychopaths because you say that you politely call them psychopaths because they technically just believe they're talking to themselves because they have no epistemic grounding. Technically, I think the word you're looking for is schizophrenic. Psychopath means antisocial behavior, not talking to oneself. So you might want to look up your definitions on that one. But I really think you're kind of missing the point here. Now, you talk about epistemology a lot and how atheists have no epistemological grounding. And to show this, you often tout Hume as the quintessential example of the atheist fallacy. Now, you've read Hume more than I have, I'm sure. And Hume did claim that we can't really verify anything outside of our senses 100%. But the thing is, if you're not completely bastardizing what he said, you're at the very least bastardizing the implications of that philosophy. What you're really doing here, Theologica, is that you're honing in on this one small part of it. You're trying to say that under this philosophy that nothing is knowable. There's no truth, there's no knowledge, our entire existence is just meaningless, and that we're all psychopaths, even though I've already pointed out you're using the term wrong there. That's really not the case. Truth doesn't become impossible. Knowledge doesn't become impossible. The only thing that becomes impossible is certainty in it. Absolute certainty. Reliability, not impossible. And that's the big difference. You're trying to say something is not certain, therefore we can't rely on it at all. That's really the main flaw in virtually everything you say on epistemology. The other flaw is that you try to state that you have an epistemological grounding, and that is basically your theistic belief, but you're really only coming to that theistic belief, especially Christianity, based on your senses. Holding your worldview does not prove that your senses are really accurate. They could very well not be. So the very thing that you accuse atheists of at pretty much every single turn, you are guilty of, and that is begging the question. Because the question is, how do we know what knowledge is. How can we actually ascertain that we know what we know? And the true answer, the honest answer, is that we really can't. 100%. Now, people like myself are okay knowing that I can't prove 100% everything else. I'm okay with just 99% sure. But you're not really okay with that, are you? You want the absolute truth and you want this certainty, but I'm sorry. You can hold to your worldview all you want, but you can't prove it. You can use your transcendental arguments and all of that, what you like, but in the end, your whole argument of epistemology fails in that you really are the entire time begging the question. Now, I could just be really misunderstanding you. I admit that's a possibility, but so far from my perspective, there's really only a few ways that I can really explain your behavior. Either you're a charlatan who on some level is consciously aware of the depravity of your tactics, the gilded nature of your intellectualism, the sheer dishonesty in how harshly you judge others who would even just attempt to refute what you're trying to say. Or you're really just by nature that much of an arrogant dick. Now, I'll admit the second one's probably more likely. It's kind of rare to find someone who's really that much of a charlatan. It's just one possibility. And if I had to put my money on anything, I'd probably put it on the second option. But there's also a third. And again, I'm not saying that this is necessarily the case, but it's just one possibility to explain the way that you seem to behave in your videos and on Stick'em. And that's that really what you are is just an insecure child. And like a child who wraps a security blanket around them thinking that it will somehow grant them magical protection from all the things that would harm them, so do you wrap your theism around you like a security blanket, protecting you from the uncertainty that atheist philosophy would bring, and that you just don't want to think about the possibility that anything outside yourself isn't necessarily as you perceive it to be. I really hope that's not the case, and I hope the first one isn't the case. I just think it's, like many people, and I've had my own streaks of arrogance as well, but that's why I'm kind of hoping it's the second one. Now, the thing that gets to me the most about you, Theologica, isn't necessarily how you treat atheists and the people that disagree with you. You know, we can really take it. The only reason I'm even making this video and getting this upset is I feel you've committed one of the few things that can really piss me off, and that's disrespecting the discussion. Because like I said before, I'm getting the impression that you're more concerned with sounding smart and trying to make yourself seem right rather than actually promoting conversation and discussion. At least, again, that's what I can see. But no, what gets me the most is that there are a lot of theists that actually look up to you. There are even people that I greatly respect that think that you are actually good. And here's the thing, they see you as this bastion of Christian intellectualism, when in reality, as I said before, your intellectualism is at best gilded by nature. Very shiny on the outside, but hiding something rather rotten on the inside. And I think this is telling in the way that atheists feel about you. Because really, people have their problems with Veritas, who argues a lot of the same points that you do, but most people really don't dislike them the way that we dislike you. Because it's the way that you, not what you say, but how you say it. It's the way that you are so condescending, whereas Veritas does have this air of honesty about him. And while I disagree with him on many points, I really do wish he would return to YouTube. I doubt I'd shed a tear if you left at this point, though. And that's what really pisses me off, because I don't have problems with theists. I really want to encourage discussion with them. I try to get as many of them on my channel as I want, and I feel that if they are going to follow your style of argumentation, it's going to be more damaging to atheist-theist relations than anything else could be, beyond maybe adopting Venom Fang X's persona and tactics. Now, if I'm really wrong about any of this, then I do extend my sincerest apologies to you, but I, at the current point, doubt that sincerely. And again, I'd like to apologize to anyone who's not really used to this from me, but I feel it was very warranted. And please tune in next time for a return to our regularly scheduled, respectful, honest discourse and programming. Have a nice day. Honest Discussioner, out.